In 1953, the CIA spent over $2 million trying to teach agents how to talk to the shadows in their bedroom. I'm not kidding. There's a declassified document that literally has a chapter called Making Contact with Non-Corporeal Entities. And the craziest part? 3 agents claimed it worked. One of them disappeared 2 weeks later. His body was never found, but his shadow was still showing up at CIA headquarters. Let me explain this absolute insanity.
Okay, so picture this. It's 1952, the Cold War is heating up, and the US government is terrified that the Soviets are developing psychic weapons. Not nuclear, psychic. So the CIA launches what they internally called Project Dark Whisper, but you've never heard of it because it was buried deeper than Area 51 files. Here's where it gets weird. The project director was a guy named Dr. Harold Finchley, a Harvard psychologist who had a nervous breakdown after claiming he saw his dead twin brother's shadow walking around his house. Instead of getting therapy, the CIA said, "Perfect, you're hired." Dr. Finchley believed that shadow people, those dark figures you see in your peripheral vision, weren't hallucinations. He thought they were beings from a parallel frequency that exists right next to our reality. Like right now, there could be shadow people standing next to you, and you'd never know. The CIA gave him a blank check and a secret facility in Nevada, not Area 51, but close, called Site 77. And here's the kicker. They recruited 12 agents who all reported seeing shadow people regularly. The government literally hired people who saw things that weren't there and said, "Okay, now make friends with them." One agent, codename Witness Blue, wrote in his report, "The shadow in my kitchen follows me to the bathroom. It watches me brush my teeth. Command wants me to ask it questions about Soviet troop movements." Bro, imagine filing that as your job description.
So how do you talk to a shadow? Well, according to declassified documents, and I've seen the redacted PDFs myself, they tried everything. First, they used mirrors. The theory was that shadows exist in reflections more clearly than in real life. So agents would sit in pitch-black rooms with a single candle and a mirror, staring at their own reflection for hours, waiting for the shadow to appear behind them. 7 agents reported success. 5 quit immediately after. One agent, Jessica Moreno, wrote, "It spoke, but not with words. It spoke with cold. I felt its voice in my bones." Second, they tried sleep deprivation. Dr. Finchley believed that shadow people existed in the space between awake and asleep, the hypnagogic state. So they kept agents awake for 72 hours straight, then gave them specific questions to think loudly at the shadows. One question was, "Where are the Soviet submarines?" An agent named Robert Klein claimed a shadow person answered him. He said it pointed to a map on the wall, and get this, 2 days later, a Soviet sub was found exactly where the shadow pointed. The Navy couldn't explain how Klein knew. The CIA classified him as a successful operative and gave him more missions. Third, and this is where it gets dark, they tried something called shadow immersion therapy. Agents were locked in sensory deprivation tanks, completely dark, no sound, floating in salt water for up to 8 hours. The idea was to become a shadow yourself so you could meet them as equals. 4 agents did this experiment. 3 came out normal. One came out screaming that he wasn't alone in the tank. He said something else was floating in there with him, breathing in his ear, even though he was underwater and alone. His name was Agent Thomas Rye. And here's the creepy part. After that experiment, people said his shadow started acting weird. It would move a second too slow, like it wasn't synced to his body anymore, like it was deciding on its own whether to follow him. 2 weeks later, Thomas Rye vanished. Okay, this is where the story goes from weird to what the hell. Thomas Rye disappeared on November 14, 1953. He left CIA headquarters at 6 p.m., got in his car, and was never seen again. His car was found 3 days later on a remote desert road in Nevada. Doors locked, keys in the ignition, engines still running. No blood, no struggle, no Thomas. But here's the thing that made even the CIA freak out. His shadow kept showing up. I'm dead serious. Multiple agents reported seeing a shadow in the hallways of CIA headquarters that matched Thomas Rye's height and build, but there was no body casting it. It would appear near his old office, in the cafeteria, by the elevators. Security cameras picked up nothing, but human eyes saw it. One agent, Linda Cartwright, filed a report saying, "I saw Rye's shadow walk through a wall. I called out to it. It stopped. It turned its head toward me, no face, just darkness, and then it walked into a closet and disappeared." The CIA shut down Project Dark Whisper 3 weeks later. All files were classified. All agents were given memory suppression therapy, which was basically early brainwashing, and reassigned to desk jobs. Dr. Finchley? He died in 1955 under mysterious circumstances. Official cause, heart attack. But his nurse said she found him in his room staring at the corner, whispering, "They're not people, they're doors." What does that mean? Doors to where? Now here's where I'm gonna blow your mind. In 2017, yeah, not that long ago, a FOIA request uncovered a memo from 1954. It was heavily redacted, but here's what we can read. Project Dark Whisper achieved partial success. Communication established with non-corporeal entities. Entities claimed to be human observers from a collapsed timeline. Request permission to continue contact protocol. Wait, what? The shadow people told the CIA they were humans from a timeline that collapsed? That means somewhere, somehow, a version of reality ended, and the people from that reality are now stuck as shadows in ours, watching us. And the CIA wanted to keep talking to them. But the memo was stamped, "Request denied, extreme security risk." Why? What did the shadow people say that scared the government so badly they shut it all down? There's a rumor, and I'm just saying rumor, that one shadow person told an agent the exact date that our timeline would collapse, and the agent who heard it killed himself the next day. No note, no explanation. But here's the final twist. In 2021, a Reddit user claimed to be the grandson of Agent Robert Klein, the guy who successfully communicated with shadow people. He posted a photo of a journal his grandfather left behind. In it, Klein wrote, "They are us. We are them. The shadows are not watching us. They are waiting for us. When we die, we don't go to heaven or hell. We go to the place between light and dark. We become shadows. And if you're reading this, one is already standing behind you." The post was deleted 48 hours later. The account? Gone. So, next time you see a shadow in the corner of your room that doesn't quite match the light source, maybe don't ignore it. Maybe it's trying to tell you something. Or maybe, just maybe, it's trying to warn you that you're next. All right, that's the story of Project Dark Whisper, the CIA's insane attempt to talk to shadow people. If this creeped you out, smash that like button and subscribe, because I've got dozens more declassified government secrets that'll make you question reality. And hey, check your shadow real quick. Does it look normal? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'll see you in the next one, or maybe my shadow will.